Right, here we've got a summary of the different types of mutations.
Just to show you what a neutral mutation is, jy sal sien die DNA volgorde verander. En dis presies wat ons nou vir julle gewys het. Nou as die DNA volgorde verander, then the sequence of the amino acid, that also, all the amino acid sequence, that change, which also. But with a neutral mutation, what is important here and why it is neutral is because the function of that protein does not change. Sien jy al, verander daardie volgorde, verander dit nie die funksie nie, en daarom is daar geen opmerklike fenotypiese variasie nie. Sien jy, daar gaan 'n genotypiese variasie wees, maar nie 'n opmerklike fenotypiese variasie nie, en dit kan nie lei tot evolusie.
Yeah, nobody will ever know about that mutation.
Because it has no effect.
Yeah, if it doesn't have an effect in the phenotype as well, so what?
Yeah. The next one is a lethal mutation. And Lorraine, you can talk them through that.
Yeah, let's see. A lethal mutation is exactly what it says. It's deadly. It will have deadly consequences for the organism. And it's where the sequence of the DNA changes to such an extent that it totally changes amino acid sequence, totally different proteins, so the function of the protein won't be the same anymore. There won't be a protein to perform a certain function. It might be a totally different protein that's formed, or it's not formed at all, if you understand what I mean. Which means that there is a change in the phenotype. Now, sometimes these mutations are not lethal immediately, and we can see them in certain conditions that people have. Cystic fibrosis, for instance, even something like color blindness or sickle cell anemia, all of those are examples of these mutations. But fact of the matter, eventually, and in most cases immediately, these type of mutations will lead to the death of the organism. Because the organism dies, it won't have any offspring, and it won't contribute to evolution. It's as simple as that. En dan die vaste of die gevestigde mutasies, Karen, wat gebeur daar?
By 'n vaste mutasie, as jy mooi kyk, sal jy sien, dis min of meer wat 'n dodelike mutasie is, behalwe, wanneer die funksie van die proteïen verander, is die resultaat een wat tot voordeel strek van daardie organisme. It is a favorable change, and that is why this type of allele, it becomes fixed. It is to the advantage of that individual, and because it is to the advantage, it can adapt better to the environmental changes or to the environment, and because it can adapt better, it is carried on to the next generation.
In other words, it's fixed, dit word gevestig, daardie alleel word gevestig. En Karen, ons praat nou van 'n individu en 'n bevolking, Onthou, die verandering is by die individu. Die mutasie vind by die individu plaas, die variasie kom by die individu. Maar dit word mettertyd oor generasies versprei dit in die bevolking, en daarom kan ons net praat van 'n bevolking wat evolusie ondergaan.
Ja.
Ons kan nie sê 'n individu ondergaan evolusie nie, but the individual will undergo the variation, and because the variation is then spread through the population over generations, ultimately the population will undergo evolution.
Yeah.
And just take care, I hope you've clicked that difference now. Take care when you write about evolution and changes.
Yeah, especially if they were there last week, they would have noticed that we did Lamarck and Darwin, and we said, why is it that we do not accept Lamarck's theory? It's because Lamarck proposed the theory where he says an individual changes.